If we're in the 80s, we're the biggest heel tag team in the country by far. That's the difference the country gentleman brings to the table.
Can you take us back to when you guys win those U.S. Tag Team Championships?
It didn't hit me until like 3 days later. Like I am holding a title at the Midnight Express have held, that the Steiners have held.
You would love to see Jim Cornette manage you at some point.
I think he's the greatest manager of all time. Him and Paul Heyman have to be the top two up there.
The NWA's got the best talent, top to bottom, than any other promotion out there.
We ain't here to stab backs. We're here to punch people in the mouth. Bam!
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
My guests today are crushing it cowboy style with over 100 years of wrestling legacy coursing through their veins. They are the current NWA US Tag Team Champions, third-generation stars, joined by their legendary father, Joe Cazana. Please welcome White Lightning, Casey Cazana, and the Bullhead Brute, AJ Cazana, the country gentleman.
The country gentleman. That's right.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
The only country gentleman.
The only
no free nip shows.
No free now. Cover it
My
up.
nipples are popping out. No free nip shows, KC. We charge for that.
It is awesome to have you all here right now, especially with NWA on fire. First, I'll go to you first, AJ, and ask about the big TV deal that NWA just inked, set to air on the Roku streaming channel, 8 p.m. Eastern, going forward, starting July 29th. How do you feel like being one of the biggest rising stars in NWA right now, seeing that they got this TV deal?
It's great for us. It makes it easier for us to get to your homes. Makes it easier for country gentlemen to perform a home invasion. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's real cool that we get that. I know Billy's been working his butt off, one on his tours, to keep raising money and to keep getting notoriety out there for not only him, but the Pumpkins and the Machines and whatnot that he's doing on his solo tour. I mean, for me, it's not the TV deal is the TV deal. It's great. We're going to be seen regardless because we post enough and people are convinced that we're rising stars in the wrestling scene, not just the National Wrestling Alliance. But it's an easier, simpler way for us to get into homes across North America, across the Mexico territories down there and up in Canada. I know we've got a lot of the biggest flack we always get when we sign TV deals is, well, how do our international fans watch us? And to be honest, I don't know the specifics, but I do know that Roku TVs exist in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I know they exist across Europe. I don't know if the schematics. I don't know if we're going to be on X. I don't know if they're going to still put matches on YouTube for people to watch. I don't know that much. I just know that we inked a deal with Roku, where us, the National Wrestling Alliance and Women of Wrestling, will be on an app. And I believe the app is going to be called Wrestling Central. So I know they're getting all that stuff down. It'd be hard to convince me otherwise, but I would be convinced that we'll get back to doing like the 10 Pounds of Gold miniseries that Aldous was so big on. Because I know Latimer would love to do something like that. We'll get a lot more behind the scenes stuff. You've seen our stuff lately. It's more cinematic, more movie production, honestly, like with some of our vignettes and whatnot. And then the in-ring stuff is it's what the NWA does that a lot of people don't do is it's simple, easy to follow wrestling. I've got friends that don't watch wrestling that I'm like, hey, go watch this. Go watch my match. We just wrestled the Southern Six on Power in a I called it a by the book Donnybrook. They called it a blood and grit street fight or something. But you see, I mean, it's just easy, simple to follow. Good guy, bad guy, athleticism. Like, we've got it. Absolutely. It's easy. If you're not a wrestling fan, the NWA is easy to get into and to follow along and without having to watch the 20 episodes before. You know what I mean? So like we'll get vignettes and stuff that'll catch you up, but like it's easiest to hop in and watch and enjoy yourselves and lose yourselves in the moment. So being on Roku, somebody sees it, they're flipping through one night, 8:00 on a Tuesday, and they're like, oh man, hey, this is something I've never seen. Boom. Yeah. Instantly hooked. Easy to follow.
Totally. No, there's no barrier to entry for the NWA. You're right. And I feel like there never has been. It's always been very easy to follow. Well, Casey, I want to throw it to you. And we just heard AJ's thoughts. You're only a few years still into your career rising. You're a U.S. Tag Team Champion, the youngest U.S. Tag Team Champion, 23 years old. How does it feel you're about to be on TV at the end of July?
I think it's pretty cool. Whenever I first got into the NWA, I was 6 months, 7 months in. And my first like action of like live TV, I guess, when they still did pay-per-views was Saw Win, the first one, where we wrestled. It was us and Jordan Clearwater. And who do we go? It was the Outrunners and Zion.
With Austin Idol.
With Idol, we had Dad. I pinned the Outrunners, all I'm saying.
You want to talk about a match that would blow the roof off of any building we're in? Country Gentlemen versus the Outrunners every day of the week. NWA, AEW, WWE, doesn't matter what promotion we're in. That match is blowing the roof off everywhere. Sorry to interject. I just want you to know how great we all are.
Please.
No, I think it's really cool. Like, I'm very humbled to be in the position I am today. Like, I shouldn't be wrestling in the NWA within 6 months of my career, but now I'm 2 years in. I'm grateful to be there. I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had. But me and AJ are pretty good at what we do. So
yeah,
like
absolutely.
We know the psychological warfare that goes along with wrestling, and we can hook an audience that has never seen us before because we wear all white. They're going to flip the channel and be like, why are they wearing all white? Let me see the story behind them. I want to go Google what Cazana means.
Exactly.
But us being on Roku is a pretty big deal, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the charisma just like exudes off you, and like I feel like even before you step in the ring, you've already made a ton of fans, and then you get in there and you actually get the job done. Anyone who hasn't seen any of your matches should definitely go check them out right now. But I saw Billy Corgan's appearance on Busted Open recently, and he was talking about, even though people might have doubted NWA's path to success, or there's been some ups and downs, like you guys always knew that you would eventually succeed and get this deal. It's the slow burn.
Well, everybody's bought in.
Yeah.
The whole locker room's bought in. And that, Billy bought it before COVID happened. And they were flying high prior to COVID. And honestly, arguably bigger than what we are now. But they had, Eli Drake was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James Storm, the Rock and Roll Express. Like, they had the talent and they had the notoriety of names. And now when COVID happened, it kind of was a huge reset. We kept a few of those guys. A few of those guys obviously went on to do some big, massive things in different areas of professional wrestling. But, like now we got a lot of homegrown talent in the Country Gentlemen. KC's never been anywhere else. I've never been anywhere else. Silas Mason's never been anywhere else. And Billy is putting – essentially, there's a lot of pressure. He's putting a lot of weight on our backs to carry this company. Silas Mason mostly right now, and and the Southern Six have never been any. Like, we've got a lot of homegrown talent, homegrown guys that are bought in from day one that we signed, day one that we were there. We're just freaking trying to we've got a platform, man, and we're just trying to prove who we are and prove they're trying to prove who they are and trying to prove we're the greatest wrestlers in the world, what have you, the greatest at what we do, blah blah blah. Because there's different styles, different ice cream flavors, all that good stuff. But like you have to be bought in. Totally. This hadn't been an easy road, man. We went from YouTube to X to CW app. Now we're on Roku. Like, we've been over everywhere. All of us are traveling the country. All of us are traveling the world. We've all been international except for KC. He's a nerd. He just got his passport, so we're working on it.
Well, he's just a U.S. tag team champ right now, so that's all.
Hey, it don't matter. My U.S. tag team title went over to Europe and the UK, Amsterdam, Germany, France, Italy. All provinces of the UK except for Wales. I didn't go to Wales. I was told to stay away from Wales.
AJ splooting out money. That's all I hear.
KC, you got to catch up. That's what it's.
I get paid, baby.
I just got my passport, so my agent up here, AJ Cazana, has to get us booked overseas.
I mean,
our titles are so the NWA JCP titles are currently overseas. The goal is to go over there and win them and bring them home until the Blockbusters get back over here. But they're defending them things over there and they're kicking butt and taking names and man, I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
To be honest, they should be with us at the NWA. Country Gentlemen versus the Blockbusters is literally the Revolutionary War 2.0. That's another match that would steal any freaking show that we're on.
Yeah, it's a shame that when they were over here, nobody booked it.
Just saying.
And everyone's always talking about, well, we like to see the Blockbusters against Country Gentlemen. I was like, and like promoters would tell me that. I go, you have the power to book the show. You book the matches. Like, let's make it happen.
You were talking about AJ, so everyone has bought in, and it's been such a cool journey. NWA has certainly been a launching pad always, but someone that I'd love to ask you about is Billy Corgan. Working so closely with him and seeing like his mind for the business, how has that been?
I mean, the dude's a creative genius. He's got tons of ideas, tons of flaw. Like for me, this is my viewpoint. He may not be the greatest mind in professional wrestling, but we did a tour with them where I saw him control 60,000 plus people every venue.
Wow.
So he knows what it's like to be in the spotlight. He knows what it's like to captivate a crowd. I mean, he's got people singing along to all his songs, including the B-side stuff. Like, so I'm bought into him as a person because of that. I don't give two craps about what he knows about wrestling, but I know that he knows how to perform and he knows how to do what he does at a high enough level to trickle that down to success for us. So I watch him when we would go to his concerts. I would be like, jamming, whatever, enjoying myself. But like I'm watching him and the little nuances he's doing to captivate the 60,000 people that are in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's why I buy into Billy Corgan. Billy's also like, he's just also been straightforward with me. Anytime I ask him like, hey, what do you have planned for us? Or what are your ideas? What can we do to help build your storylines and get you and the NWA and get us where we need to be and to help progress everything properly. And he's always just been a straight shooter, man. And that's the biggest thing I like about people. Like if I like you, it's because you're a straight shooter. You're not afraid to tell me what you do or don't like about us. You're not afraid to tell me what we can or what we need to fix. Or if we're doing something and we're right on the right money, then if we're on the money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Sense? Yeah.
Billy's wrestling mind, he's been all over. He's been around WWE locker rooms. He's been around TNA Impact locker rooms. He's been at the NWA. He's owned it for 7+ years now, going on 8. But I buy into the man himself because of the Smashing Pumpkins, because of the machines of, I can't even remember what he's calling his solo tour, but like he's doing a solo tour. He's going on international tours with the Pump. Like the guy knows how to captivate audiences. And obviously like we can learn from that. Rock and roll and wrestling are synonymous in a lot of ways. So that's why I buy into the man himself. I don't wrestling be damned. The man just knows how to perform, and that's something that we can learn from. But no, he's I mean creatively, like he's got tons of ideas, and he's got tons of storylines, and he's got a lot going on in his head, and he's balancing all this with a 6-month-old. I think his baby's a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Right, like the brother and the reality shows, his Madame Zuzu's, like the brother's just working his butt off, and it's motivating for me personally because if he can do all that, I can handle the little stuff that I have on the side and rock and roll to the top.
Yeah, and being around these great minds is nothing new for you two. Casey, I want to go to you. Like I said, you both are third generation, and you are joined by your father here, but it was your great-grandfather also that really laid the foundation for what you guys are doing today. What are some of your earliest memories, Casey, of wrestling entering your life?
I think like my earliest memories was I got to watch Dad wrestle maybe a handful of times because I caught Dad. I was born in 2002, caught Dad at the tail end of his career. And after he had his 14 retirement matches. But like, I think my earliest memory, we were in the middle school I went to, Meg's Middle School. And me and one of my lifelong friends, Lil Montana, we were both just heckling the bad guys. And like, I remember turning around and one of them was just right in my face. And I screamed like a girl and ran away.
Damn, that's awesome though. I love that take, especially from how young you were. AJ, what about you?
I mean, I've been around it my whole life. I can tell you the first time, like my first real memory of professional wrestling, I was probably 4 or 5. I don't know where we were. I don't know what we were doing, but we were at a show. It was me and Mom sitting in the stands with Mr. Fuji. R.I.P. Mr. Fuji.
Yeah.
And Dad's in I don't know what kind of match it was, but it obviously was a no DQ match of some sort because I remember seeing my daddy get hit in the head with the trash can. Little 5-year-old me was a little tough son of a gun, a little butterball, ready to go whoop somebody's butt for my daddy. And Mr. Fuji had to grab me and keep me from going over there. And then he's like, boy, we need to have a talk. I'm like, yes, sir. And then, you get to talk with Mr. Fuji and your dad and whatever. But that's like, I remember Dad at Jellicoe. I remember Dad in Knoxville. I remember Dad on the road. I mean, I couldn't tell you if it wasn't the height of his career, right? It wasn't NWA. It wasn't WCW. Right. But it was exhilarating for me to watch that. Being into wrestling, DX, we grew up on the Attitude Era. I grew up on the Attitude Era. So like we watched all the pay-per-views. We had the little cheater box. We'd watch them all. Watch Monday Night Raw, SmackDown when it started. we'd flip back and forth between Nitro and Raw, and like we're just watching a lot with him, being on the road occasionally. But I think that was my intro to wrestling. That's the first memory of wrestling I have, is Fuji grabbing me and being like, "Boy, we need to have a talk."
I mean, that is an incredible first memory too. And your dad is here, but I'd love to hear from you, and then maybe if he could jump in. What was his reaction when you said, AJ, that you wanted to take the leap and actually become a wrestler, get into the business?
Well, he told me I would never train until I graduated college. And 8 years went by, and I spent 8 years in and out of college classes. And then he got me involved in a show. Me and KC both were involved in a show, his actual retirement, the first real retirement. And we got involved, man. And like, I ran through the University of Tennessee in front of 102,000 people. And like the chill bumps, I get goosebumps talking about it. Just like the feeling of being a homegrown ball kid, loving the Tennessee balls, getting to run through the power tee. Yeah. Stepping into the ring that day was the closest I got to that feeling. And me and KC are I would be a better football player now than I was in high school or college. But me and KC, like, football was our thing. And like, I was always a football player. So like, I lost my identity as a human being, right? Like, we all go through the existential crisis. And when he saw like the excitement and the jitters and just the feelings that I had from getting in the ring, I think he was like, all right, well, we can probably teach you a thing or two and get you into this. And, he taught me a little bit, and then eventually I was like, dude, I want to do this. Like, I want to take this seriously. I want to go to the next step. And then Dr. Tom announced his school. Right. And like, Dad's like, who better? And I'm like, you're right. And so I went, and it was after I left UT the second time, he was like, well, maybe you should go ahead and get into this. And I did. And it's been uphill, downhill, all around the curve and all around the mountain bend, doing everything we can to be successful. So he is supportive. He's the most supportive man in our life. Him and our mother are our top fans by far. So like, he was always supportive after that first. And once he realized maybe college ain't for me, maybe like I couldn't stand college. Yeah. Hated going to class. I partied Thursday to Sunday at 17, 18 years old as a freshman. I got hooked on the alcohols. We all do the thing. Right. I did the thing. Like, we'd go out partying after practice or whatever. And then like, I wasn't dressing out. So I partied the night before games, partied the night of games, partied the day after on Sundays after we're running 21 110s every Sunday, because that's what we did. Like, but once he figured that out, once he's like, yeah, maybe college ain't for you. And I'm like, maybe you're right. Maybe I told you that 10 years ago, and here we are. He's super supportive about getting into it. And then he's been supportive ever since. That's all. And it's funny, you're doing all that party and Casey's sitting here on Zoom. So like, yeah, KC was a freaking, he's playing SmackDown versus Raw 2010, throwing Wii controllers through the TV. That's what he was doing.
I did that one time.
That's what he was doing. He's being a sore loser. That's what he was doing.
Yeah. That rage quitting. Casey, did seeing what AJ was doing like inspire you to also want to get
Made him jealous.
Made him jealous, yeah.
Hold on, I'm flipping my camera around because I like seeing myself, and I keep looking at myself and I look away from the camera.
I
just don't like it.
Whatever helps AJ sleep at night. No, I was just like, I was around it so much. Like, whenever I was in college, I was like, I thought it seemed fun. And whenever me and Dad got in there and like would mess around, I was like, this is fun. Like, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
So, but I went and played. He said, you do it after you play some college ball, because I had a scholarship to the Tuscaloosa University, a little D2 school in Greenville, Tennessee. And I went and played for under Coach Jerry Odom for about 4 seasons. I won a championship, is all I'm saying. AJ's going to say it's a COVID ring, but a ring's a ring.
They won 4 games.
I'm just saying, I'm a college winner. I'm a conference championship winning college football player. But I was like, and I scored a touchdown, which is rare. Like, I mean, not rare, but like for me, it was really cool because like I really didn't love football after like my sophomore year. So I was just like playing, thugging it out for my junior year. And yeah, you like that.
Thugging it out.
And I was like, Dad, I want to wrestle. And so like I took like a leap year or gap year randomly between my junior and senior year of college. And I was like, Dad, I want to go wrestle. And so Doc had a class. I shit you not, on November November. I didn't know. Prove it. No proof. But I was sitting in my dorm room, not my dorm, in my apartment building, and I was like scrolling through. I was like JPWA, January through March, and it was November. I screenshot. I said, "Hey, Dad, can you text Doc? Because I want to do this. This is the earliest class. I want to do this." And he texted Doc. I was a rare case. Dad phoned in a
Nepo baby.
Dad phoned in a favor. I didn't have to go through the screening process, but if I did, everybody gets in, so it's okay.
Right.
And I was inserted into that spring class with like 6 other people, and I'm the only one still wrestling out of that class.
Oh, so that's huge. Yeah.
But I remember in training, I was 3 to 4 weeks in, and the zaddy of professional wrestling, Dylan McQueen, comes into class, and he looks at Dr. Tom and was like, "That's Joe's kid, right?" He was like, "Yeah." He goes, I want to see what he got." And so 4 weeks in, me and Dylan had a match. And then after that, he looked at Dr. Tom and was like, for the kid being 4 weeks in, he's got something. He's ahead of everybody that's ever been in this position.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at the people that Dr. Tom trained in this business, like the list goes on forever. I had him on a couple years ago alongside actually Daisy Kill and another NWA star. But yeah, I mean, his mind for the business, Dr. Tom, it's endless, I feel.
He's the greatest trainer in the world.
Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be.
Yeah, not only having the legacy you guys have, but also having his tutelage, like that combination, unmatched. But we've seen some epic moments of brother tag teams able to be accompanied by their father to the ring. The ones that come to mind for me of some of these bigger moments, like we saw the Rhodes were able to come out with Dusty, which was awesome. Von Erich's, like the history goes on. AJ, still so young into your career though. How does it feel to be accompanied by your dad down to the ring for a lot of these matches?
Well, even before KC got into wrestling, my dad was we were up at Smoky Mountain Pro currently, but it was formerly School of Morton during the COVID years.
Yeah.
Having him accompany there, I mean, it felt like a safety net, honestly, for a long time, because I knew if I messed up, he would correct it in ring. Now, me and KC barely being 2 years into this stuff, like we're being with our father, he adds to us now instead of being a safety net.
Mm.
So now it's a good feeling to have your dad there. He's always going to be front row for your matches. He's always going to be even if he's not ringside, he's in the back watching on a monitor. So it's I don't even know what the question was, honestly, but it's good to have him there, and it's exciting for us because it's a family affair now. So it's cool. There's going to be one day where we're out here doing this without him. One of us is going to be without him at some point, I'm sure, in this NWA stuff. If we go anywhere else, I'm sure it'll be hard to get him in because, again, he's 60 something years old, and he's just now getting into this managerial stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first time in his career where he's been a manager. The first time in his career where he's had to be the Jim Cornette or the JJ Dillon of a tag team, and we're good enough to go without him, but he just adds extra flavor to what we're doing, and he adds extra heat and extra appeal. And so anywhere we go, you would think that he would be tagging along with us, but he's way more expensive than both of us are. So we have to take care of the old man.
Yeah.
So no, it's a good experience to have him with us. One, because not even the man never gives us criticisms. He will. But he's our biggest fan, so he'll always just gas us up. Man, that was a really great match. I'll be like, Dad, that match sucked. We missed these 3 moments. It sucked. It was awful. He's like, no, you guys did good. You guys did good. And I'm like, I'll punch you, old man. No, stop. Tell me the truth. But no, when it comes down to it, he needs to tell.
Sometimes you just got to be told.
Right. So I mean, when we need to be told, he'll tell us. But he always just gasses us up. He's always done that. That's one thing I don't like about him. I love my father to death, but playing football, he'd be like, man, you're so good. I'm like, no, I'm not. Stop it.
Well, Joe,
I just want to be the wrestler my father thinks I am. That's what I want to be.
Yeah. Joe, while we have you here, I want
you to be the wrestler
get your thoughts.
I was.
I want to get your
Okay,
thoughts though
okay.
on accompanying your sons to the ring. How is that for you, being their manager?
By the way, I just want them to be the wrestlers that I was. So I give them crap all the time. But as far as accompanying them to the ring, I never really gave it a thought. And I never really thought that I'd be, helping them and guiding them and basically, well, for the most part, they're kind of sort of teaching me the new way of doing things. That's what's really crazy is I'm still kind of that old school mindset, and the kids they're teaching me, and Trevor Murdoch tells me all the time. He said just sit back and just let the kids teach you, because he said they all teach me the same way, because he's as old school as I am. But going to the ring, kind of like them or doing anything with them, it's just it's fun. It's a dream come true.
Yeah.
And regardless of what either of them say, they're both naturals in this business, and they're both good in this business. And when they screw up, I'll tell them they screw up, but they don't screw up that often.
No. No, it doesn't seem like it from a fan. I mean, look at that.
We never screw up, baby.
Never.
No, I mean, think about it. No, think about it, dude. It's kind of like, Aaron Stevens and I talk about this all the time. Even when you make a mistake, nobody even picks up on it except for you. These kids are their own worst critic. Ric Flair told me back in my day, quit beating yourself up for the little things, because nobody sees them but you. So there you go.
Yeah. No, it's true. I feel like, I mean, do you guys resonate with that? Casey, what do you think about that?
I think like when Dad like accompanies us to the ring, he was like in my first like debut match out of my graduation match.
Yeah.
I was wrestling this kid named Floggin. He was in my class, and he had this kid, the guy named was Spanky, old Spank, and Spank's been dogging our family at that time for months up until that match, and he didn't know I was going to bring Dad out. I didn't know I was going to bring Dad out. He just so happened to be there. I said, Dad, you want to come with me to the ring? He goes, sure. And so, like, my first ever match had Joe Cazana out there.
That's awesome.
My first real match against Toby Farley at SBCW in La Follette, Tennessee. I had Dad in my corner against Toby Farley, which is Toby's one of like, in my opinion, he's probably one of the better workers in East Tennessee. He's really good at what he does.
Oh, he's top 5 easily.
Like I like Toby
in Tennessee as a whole, the whole state. Whenever I was first in there, he was like, "Hey, you're wrestling Toby Farley." I was like, "No." Like I was low key like being a fan. I was like, "No shot." It's like because I grew up watching Toby, and well, not grew up to stretch. I watched Toby when he worked for Dad, but I was like, "Dad, you want to come?" Because Dad wasn't going to come out to the ring either. I was like, "Hey, Toby, is it okay if Dad comes out? Like, is that cool?" He said, "I'd be honored." So it's like an honor to have Dad come out with us. And there was a spot we did, and I remember Dad's exact words were, "What the F are y'all doing?" It was my first ever match. I did a superplex off the top rope on Toby. And Dad's like, "What the F are y'all doing?" And Toby literally laughing on the way down.
That's so cool. It's awesome that you're able to have him in such an early part of both your careers too, and like make history like very first match. That's huge. I had EC3 on here a few weeks ago, and he talked about everything that happened with starting up Exodus and NWA kind of bringing back like the territory feel. I want to go to JCP, Joe Cazana Promotions, and kind of everything that went into starting that up. Joe, if you could shed some light, I'd love to hear like how it went up and what it's like running that territory.
Well, just to keep it grounded, and I'm sure EC3 lied through his teeth the whole time he was on, but but no, the conversation with Billy and I started over 2 years ago at the Always Ready pay-per-view, and I didn't know Billy from Adam at that point.
Right.
And we were talking about territories, and because I was a territory wrestler, and we were talking about it, and he asked me, he said, "What do you think? You think it could make a comeback?" And I said, "I don't know, Billy." I said, "If it's done properly, then it's possible. I said it's so old though that it is new again. Fast forward, we had talked about it a couple more times, but we were in Charlotte last summer, and Billy had come out to where we were, doing the ring and everything for the concert / wrestling show in Charlotte, and Billy sat out there with me and AJ and KC and probably talked to us for about an hour and 15 minutes until Ricky Morton interrupted the whole thing. But that's another story. But we were talking about the territories, and he was talking about doing the territory, and asked me straight up. He said, "Do you think that JCP is, do you think you could do it?" He said, well, yeah. I told him, I said, well, I think I can do it just fine. And he said, well, I wouldn't come to you if I didn't think you could. And of course, EC3 will tell you that he was the first, but no, we were the first. He just got a quicker date than we did. But the conversation with Billy was about a 2-year conversation, it seems like, but it was at least, it was about a year and a half. And then all of a sudden, man, Exodus was announced. And then about a week or so later, he called me up and he said, "You got anything going on in December?" And I said, "Well, we're supposed to. We're kind of waiting around to see where we're going to be." And he said, "We'd like to make the announcement that JCP is going to be a territory." So we scrambled and we got a place and we went back to Cofield where, we can almost sell it out with our eyes closed. And we went there. Billy, actually, he was there in Cofield, which was a shocker, but as far as the territory, that's really just how it happened. I mean, it was just a few conversations and boom, here we are, and here we are now, I guess, almost 2 years later, it seemed, and we're running NWA JCP and we're doing some good business and we're making stars. We've got the NWA stars there. So, I mean, it was an interesting process. And now both the kids are helping out as much as they can. And AJ actually, books the shows and, he does an excellent job. KC, on the other hand, he enjoys wrestling and he's kind of like, okay, let big brother, run with the ball a little bit, since he didn't run with it when he was playing ball. But but no, it's been a fun process. It's continuing to be a fun process. It's just really interesting to see how it all fell into place and how quickly it fell into place, and just exactly what we're doing right now. And we're doing great business as far as the talent. We're growing and growing and growing, and that's all you can ask for with the territory. So if anybody knows how to run a territory, it's me. And I'll put our territory and our wrestlers up against any of the other territories any day of the week or twice on Sunday because nobody can touch us. And that's the way I feel. That's my mindset. And even before we became a territory, it was, Joe Cazana Promotions, JCP, doubt us, try us. So that was always our motto. And we walk around with a big chip on our shoulder because that's just who we are. Both of these kids of mine are two of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? They're aggressive. They're talented. They want to win. They don't like to lose. They don't want to play second fiddle to anybody. That much I instilled in them when they were growing up because I don't play second fiddle to anybody. As far as these territories go, again, I feel like that we've got the best territory, the best wrestlers, and, sky's the limit. And really and truly with all the territories, the sky's the limit for all of us. Trevor is running a great territory. He and Leland race out in Missouri, and EC3 runs a great, territory at Exodus. New Mexico's brand new. I don't really know a whole lot about them. Rodney Mack and Jazz are just absolutely killing it in Texas. Um, you know, Billy is I guess Billy is the hands-on man in Chicago. In Chicago, the last time we were up there, Chicago did really, really well. And the Country Gentlemen, were actually, out there working with their hottest babyface, their hottest good guy tag team. Marche Rocket was part of that tag team.
Oh, yeah.
So, sky's the limit for all the territories.
Totally. I mean, you said it in the beginning too, like what's old is new again. It's so true. Like this new generation of fans being able to see how cool the territories can be. I love it. I love what NWA is doing with it. Casey, can you take us back to when you guys win those US Tag Team Championships, the NWA US Tag Team titles? Must have been such a cool moment. The youngest tag team champion that you are. What was that like? What was going through your mind?
It was definitely like a moment I'll never forget. Like, I know AJ's always like, I want to sell this gear. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, he sold almost all of his gear that he's wrestled in. I probably will never sell that set of gear. And I'm trying to get like a replica title made of, I'm not trying, I have to have money, but I want a replica title made of the United States title because I think it's a surreal moment. And whenever we won them, AJ got the pin on a little Sage slime ball. And I was like, it didn't hit me until like 3 days later. Like I am holding a title at the Midnight Express have held, that the Steiners have held. I'm the youngest one out of all of them to ever have that title around my waist. And winning it with family means more than anything. That's when we debuted the all white. That's when we debuted the new song. That's when we had the book. It was cool. Like, it's very cool. I'm not going to overbear it. It was definitely a real moment that I have a picture that I'll never forget that old Polo Domar sent to us. And it's all of us holding the titles up after we won them on the aprons. Because Aaron Stevens will always tell us it's moments over moves, and take in every moment you get.
It's what's so cool is AJ too. You got to have two great moments with that. You won it first in your hometown, and then you won it again with your brother. And I'm sure the one with your brother, I would think, is the one up there. But take us through those two moments for you now.
No, the first one was definitely bigger.
It was okay
for me. Second, for both of them were huge for different reasons. The first one we won in Knoxville.
Yeah,
me and Anthony Andrews beat the Fixers. The reason that's bigger is one, it was in Knoxville. My entire family's in the crowd. Casey's working backstage.
I'm ringing the bell. I was ringing the bell.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Yeah, so he was there. Like the whole family was there. Dad was ringside, or Dad was with us. Mom was ringside. And it was that one was a cooler moment. I've got a video that my buddy Mark Rowland took in the back, like after the match, when like it all settles in. Like, okay, cool. Like this is my first major title of a major company.
Yeah.
But that one for different reasons, the ring was broken. We had to change stuff on the fly. Like I threw Wrecking Ball Legursky into the broken corner, and the referee is just berating me because of it. I don't know what you're saying, Dad. You're muted. Thank God.
How the hell did a broken ring still survive after Wrecking Ball?
Brother, we were like the first match in the ring. So the I guess the brackets that hold the hooks, man, like on the base of the ring had broken. We had that thing strapped down with 16 ratchet straps or something stupid. And like everybody's told, like, hey, be careful on the ropes. Don't hit don't do this. Stay away from this. Like, that one was bigger for different reasons. But the second one, winning it with my brother, debuting the new gear, the new song.
The 400 Arena, too. Don't forget the ECW.
In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Like, nobody's seen us in this incarnation of us. This is the first time people get us. We hit the music hits, and it's WWE level freaking, like, just presentation.
Absolutely.
Right? The music, the lights, everything's perfect. Immediate heat from the crowd because they don't like Southern people up in Philadelphia. And then being at 2300 Arena was really cool, too. The first time I was there, I was working merchandise for Impact Wrestling. So that was like being back and being able to wrestle in it, right? Like,
It's full circle. Yeah.
It's full circle. Like I was working merchandise, and literally me and Gustavo Aguilar loaded up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and drove to Nashville, Tennessee for my debut in the NWA the next day. We drove 16 hours overnight just so I could wrestle the next day in Nashville. And then it's a cool story to tell. But both of them were huge in their own right. The first one we came short of beating the Steiners. The second one we're past the Steiners. We're quickly approaching the Midnight Express.
Yep.
And me and my brother are the longest reigning United States Tag Team Champions in the modern Lightning One NWA era, and that's cool. Second longest reigning currently all time behind one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling, so that's cool. And then as an individual achievement, like I don't know if I passed Bobby or not, but I think Bobby and Stan both hold the individual. I think Bobby Eaton is the number one guy when it comes to individual days, like just as a single tag team partner.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So like,
yeah,
I think I'm approaching his date. I don't know what the exact number of combined reigns is for him, but like I'm the longest reigning United States Tag Team Champion of the Lightning One era, and pretty close to being the longest reigning of all time as an individual. So I mean, like it's these titles are cool. We travel the country with them. We took them all over. We were in New Mexico. We've been to California. We've been to Nevada. We've wrestled in Colorado with them. Like, ain't nobody in the NWA traveling as much as we're traveling defending these titles. That much I can guarantee you. It'll be the same way when we win the world titles. We'll be across the world. We'll go to Australia. We'll go to Germany. We'll go to Italy. We'll go all over the place and defend these things. We all have our passports. We're all ready to take these things all over the road and freaking build the reputation of the biggest, baddest tag team in professional wrestling. And when All Japan gets off their ass and decides that they want to call us to defend them, we'll be in Japan defending them like the big Southern American badasses that we are. But going back, no, dude, like the first one was surreal. The second one was like, yeah, duh, we deserve these things because we're that freaking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the first one, I was still green. KC's ringing the freaking bell. Like, so like, I'm like, it was more surreal because, okay, some company believes in us enough to put these on us. The second one, it was more of a, we deserve this.
Yeah.
We are the tag team in the NWA. Knox and Murdoch are great. I love both of them to death. The Southern Six is great. I love all of them to death. But they ain't us. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. You know, any other tag team that's up there right now, the Fixers are great. Love them. They're splitting up because Jay's got a freaking bug up his butt or something. I don't know what's going on there. Legursky's just big and dumb. I love him too. Slime Balls, great tag team.
Oh, they're so good.
Our tag team division is great, but we're the freaking guys. And you're not going to convince me, like Dad said, like we're not playing second fiddle to anybody, and that includes Knox and Murdoch. And we're going to we're not scared to strap them up, stand toe to toe with the biggest, baddest, and dish it out, duke it out, whatever you want to call it. I'll take it, I'll give it. But it was one of those like, okay, it's our time. Like we deserve this because we are who we are and we are good at what we do, and we aren't afraid to step in the ring with anybody across the world, Heath and Rhino included. The freaking Kingdom, FTR. If I can get these nerds to stop freaking dodging us. Dude, I'm in Matt Taven's freaking text messages every day. Hey, man, you ready to fight? Hey, man, you ready to fight? Hey, man, you ready to fight? Matt Taven, he said, one day.
He's just like,
I got a tattoo that says in due time right here. It's in due time. Things will happen. The Outrunners the same way, man. Like, we just want to prove that we're the best. And that was the first stepping stone for us.
Yeah.
Was getting these straps and putting them on us and then aiming to break the freaking Midnight Express record. And prove that we belong in the top class of tag teams with the Midnight Express, the Four Horsemen, the Rock and Roll Express, whatever. Again, different era of professional wrestling. If we're in the 80s, we're the biggest heel tag team in the country by far. Yeah. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise except maybe the Four Horsemen. That would be the only ones that could tell me, hey, kid, settle down. Right? Like everybody at the road. I mean, like, I'd love to have douched it, ducked it, dodged it, whatever. I'd love to hit the Road Warriors in the mouth is what I'm trying to get at. The Road Warriors, I'd love to fight Nikita and Ivan Koloff. I'd love to fight with Dusty Rhodes. Like, I love that, and we'd have thrived in that moment. But it's time. Like, this was just our moment to say, hey, dude, we're freaking it, and stop telling us we aren't. Because there's plenty of people that are going to sit here and tell you, hey, man, you ain't ready. Hey, man, you ain't ready. Hey, man, you ain't ready. Horse shit. We're ready for everything.
That's two times you've cussed.
That's okay. Then we'll take it. That was all really well said. I love that. Intense and all true things from you, AJ. You mentioned the Midnight Express a lot, though. And I want
Yeah.
to go to something that you tweeted out almost 2 years now that you would love to see Jim Cornette manage you at some point or accompany you down to the ring. Now, I know you have your father who does that as well, but is that still a goal? Would you love to see that?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love Jim to death, and I think it. I don't know if I can say Dad and him are pretty good friends, whatever. Um, and you know, I consider him, you know, Uncle Jim is when I talk to people. I'm like, that's cool. Like, uh, I think he's the greatest manager of all time. Him and Paul
Yeah.
Heyman have to be the top two up there. My dad's just like I said at the beginning of this. He's just now getting into his managerial role, and he's just now figuring out what it means to be a manager versus being an in-ring talent. And you know, he watches JJ Dillon and Jim and learns a lot from them and their managerial roles. So, like, yeah, I want Jim Cornette to manage me specifically. I don't give two shits about KC. And I think what's going to end up happening is if there's ever a split, I'm calling it a favor.
Mm.
But you know, the falling out, whatever, with the NWA and Jim is going to be real hard. But like, if there's anybody who can do it, it's us. If there's anybody who can do anything in professional wrestling, people are like, no way, man, you can't do that. It's the Kazanas.
Yeah.
It's just that just we got 90. What is it? 2025. We've got 92 years of professional wrestling in our bones and blood. And that doesn't include whatever John did before he got into wrestling. But man, like, yeah, dude, Jim Cornette's got to be one of the greatest managers of all time. And I'm a huge Midnight Express mark. I watch a lot of their matches. I just watched. I literally sent it to KC and sent him like minute points. I'm like, hey, here's the Midnight Express versus the Fantastics. Watch these minutes and tell me we can't do that. If not as good, better than the Midnight Express. And I ain't saying I ain't gonna ever speak ill of the Midnight Express, but I'm just saying I think we can. I think we're there.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to start comparing ourselves to those guys, legitimately comparing ourselves to those guys. Different styles, different body types. We're both bigger than all the Midnight Express members. Besides Stan. Stan was kind of jacked. But like Bobby wasn't like a physical specimen.
No.
Dennis Condrey, I love Dennis Condrey to death. I'll text him every day. Hell, I'll probably text him after we get off here and just tell him how much I love him.
Yeah.
Dennis was never a huge physical specimen. So, like, man, we've got size, we've got strength, we've got speed. And gosh darn it, we're good at this. I think we can be compared to them. And I think if anybody can get Jim Cornette out of Louisville, Kentucky, it's the Kazanas.
Well, Joe, I mean, we have you there. We have you sitting right here. What do you think of that? Do you think there's any chance Jim Cornette comes out?
I don't think there's a football's chance that Jim comes out of Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, I want to tell you something. That I talked to Jim last month, I think it was. It's almost time for our monthly phone call. But I talked to him last month, and he was just telling me why does he want to come back? I picked his brain for about 30 minutes on this whole managerial thing, and he gave me some good advice. And then I said, well, okay. I said, why don't you just come back to JCP? I'll bring you back. We'll have some fun. You can, do whatever you want to do. I mean, I'll put you on the microphone. Just don't do your normal stick. No, but no. No, I told him. I said, Jim, what's it going to take to get you out of Kentucky? He said, you don't have enough money to get him out of Kentucky. He said Fort Knox could not get him out of Kentucky. So it's I don't know though. I think that if anybody can get him to leave Louisville, I think I can do it. It's just a question of right time, right place, right situation. And it's just, and right now is not the time or the place to bring Jim back. And I would love for Jim to come back. Top 5 managers that's ever been, 100% top 5. AJ and I differ a little bit when it comes to number ones. I feel like that Jim Cornette would probably be 1A in my opinion, with Bobby Heenan being a number one guy. But Jim is Jim. Jim is Jim, and he's always going to be Jim. And you just, like I said, right place, right time, right situation may get Jim out of Louisville. But right now, he ain't leaving Louisville.
Well, if there's anyone who can get him out and it's you, I bet it's the Cazanas to AJ and Casey. I could see it. It'd be an awesome moment for him to come back. But I want to thank you guys for your time. This was awesome to have all three of you here. And I want to send it home. First, I want to say, everyone, check out July 29th on the Roku streaming channel. Like we said, NWA is coming to it, 8 p.m. Eastern. Casey, to continue the 100-year legacy of the Cazanas, what can we see what are some long-term goals on your mind to keep that legacy
I
going?
don't think long-term goals would be win every championship and every company we're blessed to go in. Right now, we're the NWA United States Tag Team Champions with the NWA, and we're very, very grateful for the opportunity. And the world titles are, I wouldn't say like on the horizon. We're at the horizon. We're looking Knox and Murdoch in the face. Like, I want to throw it out there. I'm not usually the throw. Let me be not cocky. It's not cockiness. Don't mistake my cockiness for my confidence. I'm very confident in me and my brother that we can go toe to toe with Knox and Murdoch. We went toe to toe one time, but I was also 8 months in. I was still trying to learn how to swim in wrestling, and they took advantage of me. They beat the shit out of me, and I want my reputation. What's the word? My revenge. I want to get it back, and what better way to get it back is pinning them in the ring 1, 2, 3 for the world titles. And I'm saying Billy Corgan looked at me and says, I don't know, that world TV title looks good around your waist, because I was holding it for Carson. He said, that TV title looks good on you. I was like, thank you. I'll take it off Carson's hands whenever he's ready for it. Because then I'll be the youngest world TV champion of all time. Carson's the youngest right now, but I got 3 years for it. I can get to that. But I definitely think winning any title in any company that me and my brother step into is probably not a crazy goal, because we're that good. And I think together we make a way better team than a lot of other people that are just throwing together tag teams.
Yeah. No, it's a lot more than throwing together tag. I mean, it's through your veins, like I said. AJ, how about you? What do you think?
World titles, period, point
Titles,
blank.
period.
Every company
Yep.
in the world. Like, dude, we step into any major company, WWE, TNA, AEW, it doesn't matter. We're top 5 tag teams immediately, point blank. That's the end of the story. I don't give a shit what people say. You can look at us and be like, oh, well, you guys need to get in better shape. Well, you need to learn how to wrestle. How about that one? But no, dude, we're very happy with where we are, obviously. Like, the NWA is great. It's in our blood. We've been a part of the NWA since its inception almost, with John Cazana. And World Tag Team Champions is probably short-term goals. But I've got individual goals. I want to be the world's heavyweight champion. I want to carry the 10 pounds of gold. I want to win the TV title. I want to win the national title. I want to go win every single title in every major company that there is. I want to go overseas to Japan and smack some of those Japanese folks in the mouth and show them what they've been missing since the days of Stan Hansen and Dr. Death. The Terry Gordys of the world, those guys. Go over there, be the one of the few foreigners to win the IGW whatever bull crap at New Japan, right? Like, I don't know if you're trying to talk, Dad, but yeah, the IWGP, whatever. Man, like, and just I don't give a crap where we go. I don't give a crap who we fight. I don't give a crap. That much of it isn't important. What's important is to show people that we're the best wrestlers we can be, achieve the mountaintop of professional wrestling, and maybe win a few belts along the way. My biggest goal in this thing is to make life-changing money, and we're on the cusp and the precipice of doing such things. And that's the NWA sees our value. I know other companies see our value. I know that we're at least known across the world in other major companies, and that's enough of a freaking motivator for me to keep pushing. And I'm sitting at 287 pounds right now, and I'm the leanest I've ever been. KC's bumped up. He's bulked up to about 250 right now. And he's the biggest he's ever been, as far as like his arms are big, his back's getting big. Like we're working our dicks off to get, we're working our butts off to get to where we need to be. And it's about time people see it. And if they don't want to see it, man, somebody else will recognize our value, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to put ourselves in position to be successful. We're going to put ourselves in position to achieve and attain everything that we want to do in professional wrestling. I've got a timetable. I've probably got 7, 8 good years left in this thing where I can push my body to the limits that I've pushed it to for the past 5. KC's got another 10, 15 easy. And Dad's not in ring right now. but he can manage for the rest of his life. We've seen Austin Idol do it into his 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's we're just coming into our stuff. We're in our freaking. I'm in my physical prime probably right now. And we're becoming top freaking guys. He's the NWA territorial president. We are the United States Tag Team Champions, and we're the second biggest, if not the biggest, average tag. Like if you average our size and weights together, we're the biggest tag team in the NWA besides Knox and Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
And we're who better to put the burden of being world champions on the back than the young up and coming tag team of the Country Gentlemen. So yeah, no, my goals are to freaking take the professional wrestling world by storm and prove to everybody who we are, that not only we can talk a big game, but we walk a big game. And if people don't like it and they want to fight me on it, I know a good bar. I know a good parking lot. I know a good place. I'll take you out back and stretch you, and we'll call it a day. Right? We're legitimate tough guys. Like this isn't a freaking front. This isn't a game. Like there's few legitimate tough guys in professional wrestling, and by God, we're two of them. And people like running us down. They want to run us down. Oh, Nepo babies, Nepo hires, this, that, and the other. I work my ass off to get to where I'm at. And people don't realize that. And it's about time that people start recognizing the hard work that we put in. KC's got a little less of an argument for that because he is a Nepo hire. But he's worked his butt off in 2 freaking years. The kid's not the same kid he was at 6 months in. I'm not the same kid I was at 6 months in. And the goal is just to prove to people that we are who we are, man. Like this isn't just a big talk. Big shoulders mean big things, brother. I've got big enough shoulders and a wide enough back to carry this company on my back for the next 20 years if they'd let me. Yeah. I can say that about any company. KC's got another 30 in him if he plays his cards right. And he's got big enough shoulders and a big enough back to carry any freaking company.
Gotten bigger.
And that's what I'm like. That's my goal, is just to prove to people that we're as good as we say we are. Carry these world titles, carry these U.S. titles, carry any world titles, go across the world and smack the biggest dudes in the mouth and tell them to fight us and dare them to step. Just Southern raised, baby. I can go all day and talk.
I know you can.
I'm getting hot thinking about it now.
The intensity.
I'm just tired of people. I'm tired. Here's a good soundbite. And KC, people think I stole it from KC, but he stole it from me. I've never met a hater doing better than me. And there's haters all over the world. There's haters in the NWA. There's haters at AEW, TNA, WWE that look at us and they're like, man, these guys ain't that good. They're only riding on their daddy's coattail. They're riding this. They're riding that. Son, the only thing I'm riding is these 2 freaking 37-inch quads. And that's into any wrestling ring to stomp as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, stomp a mud hole in you and walk it dry. And that's it. That's it. My goal is just to prove to people. If they don't like us, then put us in the ring against them. We'll show you why we are who we are and show you why we're the toughest sumbitches in professional wrestling.
I don't know how anyone could just listen to everything you just said and not at least check you out if they haven't already, if they're not.
Because I got a big head, dude. They'll be like, oh, this guy, I don't know. No, I've not heard of this guy. He's not big enough on Twitter. He's not big enough on Instagram. That's it. Social media is a cancer in the world. And people, they only look at social media and they want to go, oh, well, you're not big enough on Twitter for us to consider you a superstar. Horse shit. Watch me wrestle in ring. Go drink a beer with me at a bar and see what happens when somebody tries to step to the wrong person.
Yeah.
I'll show you exactly who we are. I'll show you exactly what we're about. And I'll carry every freaking punch that you want to throw at me, verbally, mentally, physically. It doesn't matter. I'll carry it and I'll return it with 10 times the strength and testicular fortitude that you ain't even thought about having. So that's. I mean, I'll talk all day, dude. I can run people down. I'm just sick and like it's sickening. Honestly. I know. It's sickening.
Well,
no. I'm going to keep going.
Keep going, please.
That people like talking bad. People like talking bad about us because we're successful. People like talking bad about us because we're good. People like talking bad about us because we're attractive. We're good looking. We're handsome. We're talented, and we carry the weight that we claim to carry. We walk with swagger, as the kids say, and people don't like it. We talk with swagger and a little abrasiveness, and yeah, we're hard to get along with. We're hard to like, but we back it up. And we ain't scared to tell people that we'll back it up. We ain't scared to show people that we'll back it up. I've traded licks with Trevor Murdoch. I've traded licks with Mike Knox. I've stepped in the ring with EC3 and freaking Tom Latimer. I know what I'm capable of. I know what my brother's capable of. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, in the right situations, we're top stars. We're 7-figure contract guys. We're merchandise moving individuals. We've got some of the best merch on the freaking planet. I've got a Visit Bullhead Ranch shirt that's better looking than any freaking wrestling shirt you've ever worn in your entire life. Like, we got it all. The only thing we don't do is suck up to people and coddle people and politic to the right freaking people to get to where we want to be. We let our freaking boots and our fists do the talking. And if that's not good enough, then that's not good enough. And I will fade away into obscurity and I will fade off into the world. I've got plenty of other things I'd like to do besides professional wrestling. Hell, I'd like to go fish right now. I'd like to go, but I just left the gym because of wrestling. I'd like to go do something else right now, but we're on a podcast talking to you, trying to prove to people that we are who we are. Yeah. That's it. I'll keep going. I coach football. I'd rather do that than wrestle. It's way easier on the body. Hurts a lot less. And I can win as many championships doing that as I will in professional wrestling. Anyway, that's my soapbox, and I'm off it.
Thank God.
That was great.
Keep freaking going, boy. I swear to God, I'll keep going.
Okay, chill out, big guy.
Let me give you my long-term goal.
Yeah. Joe, please. Yeah, send it home, Joe. After that, I gotta hear from you.
It's time to take it home because AJ will talk all day. Listen, here's the bottom line.
I'm getting hot thinking about it.
I know you do. The bottom line is this. In a different situation, in a different era, I would have been the world heavyweight champion. That's a fact. I was in the land of the giants, and it was very hard to compete with guys like Vader, with guys like Sid, the Road Warriors, Lex Luger, Stings, guys like that. Ric Flair, he carried the belt like he did because of who he was and where he had been and just exactly what his legacy was at that particular time. He was the greatest in the world. Nobody could touch him. And I mean nobody, not even us. But AJ's right. These kids, they are ready for prime time. They know what they're doing. They know this business. I know this business probably as well or better than most. Like AJ says, I choose not to politic it, and I won't. That's not what I am. That's not what I'm about. But I will say this. My long-term goal is strictly for the kids. It's strictly for the country gentlemen. They need to continue doing what they're doing. They will be world champions one day, whether it's as a tag team, which it's a good possibility that they will be, or individual world champions. And they both have the potential to both be world champions. That's fact. That's not BS. That's total fact. The reason a lot of these other wrestlers on the independent scene doesn't like the Cazanas is because we say what we mean and we do what we say. And honestly, it's just like JCP. Who the hell's going to touch us? I mean, in all fairness, there's not a local wrestling promotion I'll just use the whole state of Tennessee for that matter. There's not a wrestling promotion in the state of Tennessee that could touch JCP. The only difference between JCP and half the other ones that are out there is a lot of these money marks that are out there are putting a lot of money into what they're bringing in here. We build our own stars. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. And we've got stars. The NWA, the greatest wrestling promotion on the face of God's green earth. And I don't care what anybody says. You can call me crazy. You can call me nutsy. You can call me anything you want to. But I'm an NWA guy. Have been since the day I was born. And there's not thing one anybody can do to change my mind. I mean, it's just a fact. The NWA's got the best talent, top to bottom, than any other promotion out there. And when I say talent, I mean talent. I don't mean like AJ says, social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that bullshit. I'm talking about individual talent. The NWA, top to bottom, has it. From the owner, who's one of the most talented people that I've ever met, all the way down to the camera people who, or the catering people, or the extras. They're the best at what they do. They are the best at what they do. We've got a great owner, we've got a great support staff, and we've got a great talent and very talented locker room. And there's not thing one anybody can do to change my mind. Not thing one. But like I said, my long-term goal is for the country gentlemen. I want them to achieve exactly what they deserve. I've been in this business for 40 years, which is a long time. So my long-term goal is just to see the next birthday. That's my long-term goal. If I can do it in the NWA, then that's exactly where I'm going to do it. Again, like I said, we are in the infancy of basically the Lightning One era of television.
Yeah.
I was around for the NWA, on TBS and all the other, major markets. I was there. I did that. And of course, I don't think anybody and WWE is great with calling out the numbers and the this and the that and the everything else. Well, okay, fine, whatever. Call all your numbers out. We just had the greatest SummerSlam of all time, or we just had the greatest Money in the Bank of all time. Well, whoop-de freaking do. You know what? That's great. That's just great. Keep on, paying your stockholders and keep on doing all that. But again, the NWA at this point is in the infancy of its television time out there. And I would say that within the next 2 or 3 years, you may not want to sleep on the National Wrestling Alliance, because again, top to bottom, there ain't no better in the world than the NWA. And again, I apologize for getting on my soapbox.
No,
that's the way I feel about the company that I work for. And that's the way I feel about the talent that is in that locker room. And that's the way I feel about, the country gentlemen. They are my sons and I love them dearly. And there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. And if I could get my old ass in the ring and do what these kids could do, then that's exactly what I would do. But I do want them to achieve everything that they're going to set out to achieve. And again, sky's the limit. They've been in this business. My God, man, they're babies. They're babies in this business. And that includes AJ, and he's been around for 5-6 years now. So, like I said, that my long-term goal is for the country gentlemen, for the NWA as a whole. That's my goals. As far as what I do, I want NWA JCP to continue to be one of the best territories out there, if not the best. My long-term goal for Joe Cazana, the manager of the country gentlemen, just continue doing what I'm doing. Just keep getting better at this managerial thing. And again, sky's the limit, man. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Here, I got a sound bite.
Okay.
You see how big my hand is?
Yeah.
I want you to look. See, I got big old oven mitts for hands. All 5 fingers. There's a lot of people in professional wrestling that will stab you in the back, baby face you to your face just to get to where they want to be. It ain't us. We're going to step toe-to-toe to you, smack you with my giant oven mitt of a hand, and then we're going to walk over you to where we want to go. That's the difference the country gentleman brings to the table. We ain't here to stab backs. We're here to punch people in the mouth.
Excellent.
Bam!
That's great. You cannot end it any better. What would you say?
And we do it hashtag by the book.
Rewind, recap, relive. Whoa! That's what the world is watching.